So it's vertical weld time. Today we're joining 12mm plate with a single V prep using 6011 and 7018 rods. So let's get over there and see how they perform. So we kick things off with 65 amps using 2.5 6011 rods, but the heat was a little bit too much and the keyhole was blowing open and we were chewing those edges away. After noticing this, we had to adjust the settings to gain control of that weld pool and keep consistent penetration on the back of the joint. To do this, we dropped our amperage to 55, which brought us back in control, and the weld began running a lot smoother, and we've got much better control, which means we're pushing metal through the backside to get a consistent route. 6011s run hot and aggressive by nature thanks to their high hydrogen content, which gives them that fiery arc. These rods are formulated to freeze quickly, which is ideal for positional welding, as it allows you to maintain better control of that heat input. So now we've completed the root pass, let's take a look and see how it looks from the backside. So knocking the slag off with my cheeky chipper, we can see from this that it's come through giving us a nice convex bead, so we give it a wire brush to clean it up. The front's a different story. Because the flux is so stubborn to remove, it's easier to grind it off, so we're making sure it's clean and slag free so we don't trap anything in the joint with our next run, which is called the hot pass. So moving on to our hot pass, we're now using 2.5 7018 rods, and we've got those on around about 75 amps. So we start by putting a slight weave. We're trying to penetrate into that root but not push it right through and overheat it and disturb the run on the other side. 7018 electrodes have a basic flux coating and produce a low hydrogen weld. Minimizing hydrogen input is critical, as dissolved hydrogen can create internal pressure pockets that result in delayed cracking. So as 6011 electrodes introduce significantly high hydrogen, depositing the second pass as soon as possible is essential. The added heat helps diffuse and remove hydrogen retained in the root pass. So hot pass complete, we now remove the slag and we should reveal a fully fused weld that hasn't affected the integrity of that root pass. Now we're going to switch to 3.25 7018 rods to deposit more metal and start filling the joint a bit faster. We're running these on 110 amps. We're still using a weave technique, but now we're pausing longer on the sides to control heat and keep the run flat. Pausing helps build up metal, then moving quickly across to the other side prevents sagging. If you move too slowly through the weld pool, you'll overload the center, creating droopy, saggy welds. So the objective is to let one side of the weld cool slightly while depositing on the other side, ensuring both sides fuse properly at the center. This is more apparent on this flushing run. Since the bead is wider, you can clearly see how pausing gives the weld pool time to set on one side while building towards the center. With a flushing run, the aim is to bring the weld just under the edge of the prep. We have to be careful to leave this edge intact, as it helps us maintain a straight bead and serves as our guide for keeping that first capping run straight. So remember, keep that edge intact. If it's gone, there's no visual guide, and keeping that first run straight becomes more difficult. With the slag removed, we've left a flat, clean surface ready to lay down our cap. We're using a stringer bead technique rather than a weave. Due to the width of the joint, we're not going to weave this in one run, and we're going to show you how to use a stringer bead technique to achieve the cap. But remember, always refer to your weld procedure specification before selecting a technique, as this will stipulate what is required for the job. As we have left the edge of the prep visible, this is now our guide to follow and help maintain a straight first capping pass. We're setting our amps at 105, that's slightly lower than the current we used on the flushing pass. This is going to help us maintain control of the pool and welding profile. With a straight initial pass established, placing the remaining beads becomes easier. Simply overlap roughly 50% of the previous run, maintaining that consistency from one side of the joint to the other. As you can see, we're keeping a 30 to 45 degree upslope angle on the rod, and we're pointing it slightly towards that last bead to get solid fusion and a clean profile into the previous run. It doesn't matter if you're welding flat, vertical, overhead or horizontal, the process is exactly the same. The only thing that's going to shift a little bit is the rod angle depending on your welding position. One of the key things to remember when stick welding, especially doing stringer beads, is to maintain a comfy position. As you can see, I'm using two hands here to steady the rod. It's a little bit more forgiving than TIG welding, but you still have to maintain that arc length, as the steadier the rod, the better your weld profile will be. So keeping run positioning in mind, placement becomes critical at this stage. With this third pass, we need to ensure it's positioned correctly so that the final run can overlap roughly half of its previous run and also tie into the edge of the weld prep on the other side of the plate. As you can see, we've achieved that, which sets us up to lay our final capping pass neatly and consistently in the gap. If our previous run is correct, we have the edge to follow as well, just like we did on on run 1. Now all we need to do is stay steady and maintain control all the way up to finish this cap. Like this video, check out our horizontal one on screen now and see how changing the welding position affects the weld. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.